What's up, guys? Today we're going to be delving deep into macronutrients, specifically protein. If you want strength, if you want mental clarity, if you want great nails, hair, and skin, and you want to do this long term, protein is a must. Protein is literally, and the amino acids that build it up are literally the building blocks of your life. Before we get into protein, though, let's make sure you understand what all the macronutrients are. Now, at the end of the day, a macronutrient is simply those things that your body uses to produce energy. So we're talking about protein is going to be there to help you with support growth. It's the aminos in it are literally the building blocks of everything: collagen, enzymes, your antibodies. It is going to make your hair, your skin, your organs, your muscle. So it's not just about getting big biceps. Carbohydrates are the preferred energy source. So we're going to take these in, and this is what's going to give you your go juice, so to speak. Carbs are often referred to as the jet fuel because your body is going to use them primarily when you are under duress. Next up, we have fats. And fats are going to provide energy as well. They support cell membranes, and they help with vitamin absorption. But a lot of people like to say that fats are like diesel fuel, whereas carbs are like jet fuel. Right now, while I'm not under stress, I'm not doing any maximal effort, my body's actually predominantly using fat as my energy source. At the end of the day, if you're missing any of these, or if you're eating too much of any of these, you're going to find yourself in a state of malnutrition. Now, so many people think malnutrition means that I'm not getting enough, but it can also mean I'm eating too much as well. And just like there are negative side effects that come with eating too little, clearly there are negative side effects that come with eating too much. But we want to really delve into protein. Now, odds are, if you've had a conversation with any bro from the gym, they've already told you this: protein, protein, protein. But when they're talking to you about this, what they're really thinking about is muscle protein synthesis. We're talking about breaking down that protein and rebuilding it, using that protein to rebuild the muscle, effectively making you bigger and stronger and faster. When we look at people that are operating in a deficiency, we can have muscle loss and weakness, which, on a side note, is one of the main reasons why you get fat, or as some people call it, skinny fat, because your muscle is metabolically active, whereas fat is not. So a pound of muscle burns 6 calories at rest, whereas a pound of fat burns 2 calories at rest. So if you're not getting enough protein, and we're going to delve into how much you need, if you're not getting enough protein, you are 100% going to start to find yourself wasting muscle, especially if you're in a caloric deficit. You can also end up with swelling. You can end up with poor skin and hair health. You're going to have slower recovery because the muscles are not getting the aminos they need to rebuild. And you're going to be a lot more likely to experience illness. On the flip side, if we were to take in too much protein, this can cause things like dehydration, constipation, bloating, and unwanted weight gain. And we've often seen that a lot of those guys that are just chugging 4 or 5 protein drinks a day, the gas from that ass is horrendous. But what are we looking for? What we're really thinking about here is the amino acids, and the amino acids are the building blocks. Proteins are made from amino acids, and again, we can think of these as little Lego blocks that are used to create everything from muscle fibers to hormones. When we're looking at amino acids, they break down into 3 different types. First, we have our essential amino acids. You cannot make these yourself. You have to get them from food. There are 9 of them. Then we have non-essential amino acids. Your body can actually produce these. And then we have conditionally essential amino acids. Normally your body will make them, but under stress, hey, this is where so many Americans at today, or illness, you need extra from food to offset them. Now, when we're talking about proteins, you may have heard the term complete and incomplete protein. A complete protein is going to be a food source that has all of the amino acids, those non-essential amino acids that you need to be able to absorb, process, and use that protein. The best source of this is eggs. Eggs and honey, although honey doesn't have anything with protein. These are really considered 2 perfect foods because our body can use pretty much everything in them. With that being said, complete sources of protein would be not only your eggs, but also your meat and your dairy products. Your incomplete protein sources are going to be a lot of times your vegan sources. What happens here is that they don't have all of the essential amino acids they need for your body to process all the protein out of it. But if I pair it with a complementary food that has the amino acids it's missing, now I get a complete protein. An example of this would be rice and beans. Rice has the amino acids the beans are missing. Beans have the amino acid the rice are missing. And we put them together, we now have a complete source of protein, and we can crush our fitness goals. One of the questions we always get asked, well, Danny, is if protein is king and it's so important, well, how much protein should I be getting? And most people get confused on this. A lot of people like to say 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight, and that's not going to get you in any trouble. But if we want to be exact, what we really have a recommendation of 0.8 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight. This is the recommended daily allowance. We do not want to be any lower than this. If you're an endurance athlete, it's okay to bump it to 1.2 to 1.8 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight. For my strength athletes, because you're tearing down so much muscle tissue, I want to see you take it at 1.6 to 2 kilograms, 2 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight. And you can actually go as high as 3 grams per kilogram of body weight and not find yourself in any real worry or taking in too much, unless, again, you start to see some of those signs of symptoms where you're feeling dehydrated, you're constipated, you're bloated. If you're starting to clear a room out when you walk in, maybe you want to dial this down a little bit. When we talk about taking that protein, timing absolutely matters. Our body cannot absorb all the protein at once, nor can it store it long. So we can only store about 10 grams of aminos in a day. So what this makes a point of is that it's imperative that you're getting your protein intake, meeting it every single solitary day based on the goals that you have. But an easy way for us to figure out how to put this in is we're going to want to have 0.4 grams per kilogram post-training. We're going to want to spread our intake out over 3 to 4 hours. And we're going to want to include a protein dose before bed to support overnight recovery. Now, when we talk about taking protein at night, you may hear some people talk about nighttime protein. More often than not, they're referring to casein protein. It is a milk-derived protein. And what it's going to do is it's going to essentially form a ball in your stomach and do a slow release over time. What you want to watch out for here is if you're somebody like me that's lactose intolerant, milk just killed your stomach, you're probably going to want to put that on the back burner or not do it because it's probably going to leave you with an upset tummy. So, practical application. All you need to do is find your number. Multiply your body weight in kilograms by 1.6 to 2 if you're training regularly. Then you're going to choose your sources. Lean meats, fish, eggs, dairy, or a thoughtful mix of plant proteins. You're going to spread it out. We're not going to skip any meals. We're not going to try to cram all this into one setting. We're going to pay attention to your recovery. Notice how your body feels. If you're noticing that you're just not recovering well, it's probably a good sign, an indicator that you're not getting enough protein. Always start there. We said this at the beginning. Protein isn't just about bigger muscles, guys. Protein is about life. It's about fueling the entire system from top to bottom. If you eat with discipline and you train religiously, you're going to be able to see the results that you want in the mirror or on the track or in the field. At the end of the day, they will tell you this over and over again, a million times, twice on Sunday. You cannot outwork a bad diet. If you're not seeing the results that you want to see in whatever field of endeavors you're working on, always go to the kitchen and find out what the ingredient is you're missing. And for so many men and women out there in America, you are not getting enough protein to meet the goal and the demand that you want to put on your body. If you have any questions about any of this, by all means, go ahead and leave them in the comment section. I'll be happy to address them. Until next time, keep living in a fit-free in America. Head down, horns up. Salute.